Always a pleasure to be joined by our next guest,
Absolutely.
the Hall-of-Famer, the one and only Sir Charles. Charles Barkley joins us here on Bickley Marotta Mornings. Charles, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, appreciate it, brothers. How y'all doing?
We are doing good. It's weird because you've been so kind to us to come on the show for years, and every time we introduce you, it's always from NBA on TNT. We can't say that anymore, Charles, and it's weird.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I just signed off on the deal last week because I wasn't sure if I was going to take it. But I'm like, you know what? I don't want to screw Ernie, Kenny, and Shaq, but mainly the people behind the scenes. So I'm going to take a chance with ESPN, and hopefully it'll work out perfect.
It always does wherever you go, Chuck. You know that. All right, so let's get into the what's going on with the Phoenix Suns. We're talking about a first-time general manager, a first-time head coach in Jordan Knott, who's going to be unveiled today at a press conference. A lot of unhappiness in the fan base because of all these Michigan State ties to this new regime. What is the short-term prognosis for the Phoenix Suns, in your opinion? How do they get out of this mess?
Well, they're screwed right now. So you make the best deal for Kevin. That's the first thing. You make the best deal. I hear they're like working with him and whatever. I'm like, no, you don't work with him. You make the best deal for the team. So you make the best deal for the team because you got to start your rebuild. Because you only got one. Listen, let's be honest. If you know what you're doing, you only got one decision, the Devin Booker decision. You make the best deal for KD. No matter, don't worry about his feelings. You make the best deal for yourself. Because, some people going to take a chance with him, some people not. He only got 1 year left on his deal, and he's 37 years old. So you make the best deal for the Phoenix Suns. You're probably stuck with Bradley Beal because he won't waive his no trade. So the only decision, you got to go to Devin Booker and says, we're going to suck for the next couple of years. You can stay here because we love you, but can we make a deal to start our rebuild and make you happy? And if I'm Devin Booker, I say, you know what? Let's do this. That's really the only decision. Kevin Durant's easy. You make the best deal where you can get the most assets. Probably not going to get a lot, but somebody might be stupid and give you a lot. Mm-hmm. Like I say, you're stuck with Bradley Beal because of the no trade. But the decision you got to make, it's only one decision. Okay, Devin. You're still a hell of a player. We're not going to be any good for the next 2 to 3 years. We need to start our rebuild. What can we do? What situation can we put you in where you can compete for a championship in your prime, and we start our rebuild? Mm-hmm. That's really the only decision. Has nothing to do with who's the general manager, all this other thing. That's the only decision the Suns got to make this summer. You got to do the Durant deal, but the decision is really all about Devin.
Yeah.
Because he's the only valuable asset you got.
Truth.
So that's the decision.
On KD's future, Chuck, it's interesting, and there's a difference. And you said, hey, you don't have to work with him. You do what's best for your team. I wonder how that would affect future free agency dealings. But just in terms of Kevin Durant's fit with the team, I think there's only going to be a certain number of teams that are interested in getting him anyway. What do you think of his fit on a championship caliber team right now? It didn't work in Brooklyn, obviously, with a big three. It didn't work in Phoenix. It
hasn't worked anywhere but Golden State.
True.
Yeah, I mean those are just facts out there.
But can it work?
Would have to be the perfect situation. He can't be your leader because you need leadership. He's proven that when he has to be the leader, he said, I don't want to be the leader. I just want to play basketball. Well, it doesn't work like that when you're the best player. It doesn't work like that. You have to be a leader. Unless you got somebody like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting. But you can't even worry about that. You're like, we got to do what's best for the Phoenix Suns. I mean, because I laugh when I hear, we're going to work with KD and his people. Like, screw that. You got to do what's best for the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, it's like
So true.
you guys gave up all that stuff to get him. Now you got to worry about him too. Like, no, let's do the best for the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah,
Period.
and you're so right about that leadership component because, we lived it in Phoenix with you in 93. A basketball team is a reflection of your best player, and there's no arguing that Devin Booker has gone backwards since Kevin Durant has arrived. Do you think that Book by himself with a different crew, if KD goes elsewhere, that we'll get a better Devin Booker next year?
I think you will, but the problem is the team's not going to be any good.
That's
the
true.
Suns aren't even, the Suns are an afterthought. Think about this. Okay, obviously you got to get rid of KD because of the contract situation, but Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, you're a play-in team at best. At best. So, Devin's a hell of a player, great kid. And, when we had to, it's so crazy. We had this conversation. I'm like, he got to step up and be the leader. But because we had this conversation about KD. KD didn't want to be the leader. Okay, that's fine. But somebody else has to be the leader. And Devin, I don't know if he has the personality to lead. You can't just be a great player. You got to, because players, you have to take all the responsibility for the press. Like it's like me. When I get all the credit and all the blame for my team's success. Like and I hate saying this because it don't sound great. Nobody says Ceballos didn't win the championship.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, nobody says Mark West didn't win the championship. Like Charles Barkley didn't win the championship. Is that fair? No, 100% not fair. But that's just the way it is. Doug goes with being the leader and the man on the team.
Yep.
You can get mad about it. You can whine and bitch about it. But those are the rules of engagement. When you're a great player, you get all the credit, but you get all the blame. And KD does not want that responsibility, which is fine. Devin, I would feel bad for him if he stayed in Phoenix. I think they got to make the trade because that's the only way they can start to rebuild because they have no draft pick for the next 4 years or more. So he's a valuable player. He could be on a championship contending team. So at some point, you got to start to rebuild. You can keep him and be mediocre in his prime for the next 3 or 4 years, but that makes zero sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
You're right.
The great Charles Barkley, our guest here on Bickley Marotta Morning. Shifting focus, Charles, to the NBA Finals. Tied up at 1. Bick and I were talking about it, even with Indiana stealing game 1. Oklahoma City has dominated this series. They have that swarming defense. Do you think Indiana can make this a series?
Yeah, because the coach at OKC did that stupid-ass thing, changed his starting lineup.
Wondered about that.
Well, because game 2 doesn't matter. Only game 1 mattered. They got the split. If you go back and look at Indiana, when they get the split, they're content. Like, when they got up 3-1, they went back to New York and like, yeah, we'll let y'all have this game, and then we're going to finish y'all off in game 6. So people talking about game 2. Game 2 didn't matter. Once Indiana got their split, they were good. And let me tell you something. This reminds me, I was having dinner with some NBA people last night, and I said, they were asking me, I said, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen because it's actually happened before. About, I can't remember, probably 20 years ago, the Dallas Mavericks had the number 1 team in the NBA. And Avery Johnson, who I like, did the stupidest thing I've ever seen. He was playing against Don Nelson's team. And he's got the best record in the NBA. And Nelly played small ball. Avery Johnson changed his starting lineup with the best record. The Mavs had the best record in the NBA. He changed his lineup, and they lost as the number 1 seed to the 8th seed Golden State Warriors. And I remember saying on TV that night, I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've seen. If you're the number 1 seed and you got the best record, why would you change your starting lineup? And I'm not sure what he was doing, Coach Daniel, for game 1. Now he's stuck because he did the same stupid thing in game 2 and they won.
Yeah.
But game 2 didn't matter to Indiana. They packed it in against the Knicks. Now the series really starts tomorrow, to be honest with you. And I think the Pacers are in great shape because Coach All these coaches, they do this analytical BS, but they want to be the smartest person in the room. And no, dude, you got the best record in the NBA. Why are you changing?
Yeah.
Why the hell are you changing? So I think Indiana's in the driver's seat right now. I picked OKC to win this series. I didn't think anybody could beat them, but the coaching out here trying to be Red Auerbach. We're going to see if it come back to bite him in the ass.
You've been so on the money in calling out ESPN over the years when they just fixate on LeBron and the Lakers when they're not even a good team. And then people wonder why no one knows or wants to watch a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Tyrese Halliburton. What do you think the NBA needs to get right about marketing all its teams and all its star players to get away from all these ratings discussions?
Dan, that's a great question because first of all, there's only in my basketball career, there's a lot of great players, but Magic, Bird, and Michael are King Kong. They're supernovas.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Kobe and LeBron. That's probably it during my lifetime. It's kind of like golf. I said you had Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, and Arnold Palmer. Then you had Tiger. Those are the only four guys that were like, oh, yeah, whatever they're doing, I'm going to be watching. Scottie Scheffler, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas. Phil Mickelson is almost on that level with Tiger. He's right below Tiger. But that's it.
Yep.
And the NBA, we got the Joker. We got Giannis. We got Luka. We got Shea. We got a lot of great players who are just great. ESPN had this stupid discussion who's going to be the face of the NBA. They were like, Allen Edwards going to be the face of the NBA. I said, well, it doesn't kind of work like that. You don't give it away.
Right.
You don't give it away. You have to take it.
Yeah.
But there are very few players like that. But concentrate on the great players we got. They got mad at me a couple months ago. I said, the Lakers stink and the Warriors stink. I don't care. Because they both went up when they made the trade, which anybody know when you made a trade. It's kind of like when you fire a coach. Your team going to go on a run. But then they're going to realize that we really suck. We just got a new coach, and we realize that we got to play harder because they realize that we got our coach fired. We got our coach fired. So the players pick it up for 2 weeks. Then they realize they suck, and they go backwards. So I was like, yo, man, why do y'all, I did a rant. I said, why do y'all talk about the Warriors and the Lakers like they're contenders? The Warriors and the Lakers both stink. They got Luka. They had a little run. They got Jimmy Butler. They had a little run. But they both really stink. They're not contenders. Just talk about the greatness. Shai Gilgeous is amazing. Jalen Williams, Halliburton, Siakam. I think Siakam's probably the most underrated player in the NBA.
Yep.
But they try to make it about stars and big markets. Man, we got a lot of great players in the NBA. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum are great. I mean, we got a bunch of good players. Devin Booker's a great player. So just concentrate. Instead of just worrying about the big market and the stars, talk about the greatness of the players.
Yeah.
All right, lastly, before we let you go, I got to ask you a golf question. Have you ever played Oakmont? Are you stoked for the Open this week?
I am stoked. No, first of all, no. I got to give a shout out. I got to Peyton Manning. So, Dan, Peyton Manning, who's a great dude, called me a few months back. He said, hey, man, what are you doing on this day? I said, I'm not doing anything. What do you want to do? He said, I want to take you to Augusta for 2 days. We're going to stay on the property. I'm like, holy okay. So Dan, he takes me and Dwayne Wade and Grant Hill to Augusta for 2 days, and we stay on the property.
Oh.
Listen, if I had to die the next day, I'm like, I'm good. I'm good.
How'd you play?
I played great. I'm playing great right now. I'm probably down to an 6 to 8 right now. I'm playing wonderful, but. Man, it was 2 of the best days of my life, and we stayed up there. We stayed on the property, and it was flat out 2 of the best days of my life.
Oh, that's great.
But I have not played Oakmont. I was talking to Colt Knost, who's amazing, does a great job on television. He's like, if you give me even par right now, or 1 or 2 over, I might take it right now before the week start.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, what? He's like, man, you give me even par 1 or 2 over to start the week, and says, I can finish that Sunday night at 6 o'clock. I think you're going to win the golf tournament or you're going to be close to a playoff. And I was like, damn. So I cannot wait to watch. The U.S. Open is amazing. I love the Father's Day tie-in.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I can't wait.
Right.
But I've never played Oakmont.
But you just made Bick real jealous.
Yeah, those 2 days at Augusta National, man. Keep living the dream, Chuck.
And Chuck, congrats on the ESPN deal. We look forward to watching you guys in the future, man.
Hey, Vince, thank you, brother. Hey, you guys, y'all take care of yourself. I know it's hot as hell in the desert. I'll see y'all in October.
Sounds good.
See you, Chuck.
Charles
Be
Barkley,
well, brother.
The Hall of Famer, joining us here on Bickley and Marotta Mornings. We got a lot.
Augusta.
Yeah, are you going to be okay for the rest of the show?
I'm not gonna
We got a lot to react to from Charles Barkley.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.